right now, live. We're going to bring in the man of the hour. Now, other than former WWE superstar, Brad Maddox. Welcome, man.
Hey guys, am I on?
Yes, you are, live. How
Can
you
you hear
doing?
me? Yep. I'm good, man. Sorry about that. I'm 20 minutes late.
Yeah, it's all fine. So our show runs over 2 hours. We always make sure we have a big opening of time just in case, our guests tend to run a little late. I understand it. But how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm in Los Angeles, so the 3-hour time change threw me off for a minute.
There's no problem. Like you said, thanks for coming on to the show. Like you said, we sent you the post and the link. The show is titled after you, Mad Brad. And, talk to us a little bit about how things been going with you since, your departure of WWE.
Things have been good. Working on some different projects outside of wrestling, as well as working on bookings. Like I said, I'm in LA right now, so I'm trying to get my acting career started. And
wow.
It's been a fun couple of days. I've been out here for a few days now.
That's good. Thank you for that. You're on live. This is Tech, of course. We just text each other on also with my media assistant, Saltine, and my correspondent, Toph. I'm going to turn it over to them right now. Go ahead, guys.
Toph?
Sure. Hey, Brad. My first question for you is, could you tell us a little bit about your experience in FCW? Because I remember you were down there for a bit, and most people don't talk about FCW because they weren't able to watch it unless, they had it locally. So could you tell us a little bit about FCW, and could you compare it to NXT, like what they're doing with it now?
Yeah. FCW, I think, was my favorite time in wrestling altogether. It was kind of like the Wild West days back then. There wasn't so much control. There wasn't as much micromanagement of all the talent. You kind of got to just go out there and kind of do what you wanted. So a lot of shenanigans, and I had a lot of fun in those days. And we had house shows all over Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So we took a lot of road trips, but it wasn't anything like being on the main roster on the road. But so, I mean, it was cool. It was fun. A lot different than NXT now. Obviously, it wasn't nearly as big, and they're doing big things now. And we had like a local television show, but it wasn't all that much. So they're really, obviously, they're trying to create another brand with NXT now, and they're doing a good job of it.
Thank you for that. Go ahead, Saltine.
Hey, Brad, how you doing, my man? My question
I'm doing good.
Oh, awesome. My question is, this has been the controversy question, so I'm the guy with the controversy question. All right, what was the reason why did they fire you for saying prick on the show? Do you think WWE is very hypocritical with stuff? Like, for example, Vincent McMahon say what he has to say, right? And you just say one word, and I'm like, really? You gonna fire me just for saying prick? Like, how you been feeling about that?
Well, I mean, I was shocked. They called me the next day and they said, Vince has decided to let you go, and I was sorry about that. I'm outside.
It's all good.
There's chaos everywhere. Got that.
You didn't cause it, did you?
No, I'm not a prick anymore. No, I never was the crowd in Indianapolis, the pricks. I was shocked by that because it was a dark match, and again, I've said before, I didn't think that prick was a bad word. I've never used it as like foul slang language, so I didn't think anything of it. But I also, considering it was an opening dark match, and I'm just supposed to go out there and heat up the crowd a little bit, I didn't think much of it. So I was surprised by it, but I also understand, like, I didn't get that cleared, obviously, and the other things that happen on television are cleared, or it's Vince himself, and it's his company, and so it's It's his ball and it's his court, so he can do what he wants and he can make the rules he wants. So, can't really argue with that.
Okay. Do you feel, and no, Brad, we have a lot of fan questions that's coming to us via text and via Facebook too. Some people feel like it was unfair you getting fired, and the question is, we want to know is, do you feel like it was a build-up? Did you have any heats with any of the boys? Did you get along with everybody? And that is why you got fired, or do you feel like it was a build-up where it was they were just waiting for enough rope to, as they say, hang you?
No, I don't think there was any other reason, because I'd spent a lot of time with this over the last 7 or 8 months actually, and this just doesn't strike me as a guy who would waste his time and waste as much time as he did meeting with me if he wasn't actually interested in using me,
right?
Unless he just lied to me for 7 or 8 months, 30-minute meetings at a time. I don't think that would be the case, and I don't think I had. I got along with the boys. It's a locker room full of cool guys. So if there was any other reason for it, I'm unaware of it.
Well, thanks for that. Now, let's talk about you being on the main roster, and we'll get to you. We'll get to your growth in a little bit. Of you being at FCW and your rise up to the main roster, but talk about the beginning and the genesis of your character on Raw. Who pitched the idea to you, and how did you feel being on the main roster, and were you confident with your character?
When they brought me up as a referee, I didn't know much about it. They just said they wanted a dirty ref to help CM Punk win a match, and I didn't really ever get any details on it other than I was told it was going to lead to wrestling. I was hopeful. I thought it was cool to do something unique. Obviously, it didn't really lead to the ring like I had hoped that it would. And, I take blame for that, for not being more proactive when I first came up, because it was a brand new environment, and I was kind of just happy to be there and a little nervous. Not as proactive as I could have been, and seeing Vince, and the way I talked to him the last couple of months that I was there is the way that I wish that I had started off, and things probably would have gone differently. But I'm definitely disappointed that it didn't turn into more than it did. What was the rest of your question?
I was saying that you started off on the main roster. What was, once you came from being a referee to being your actual character, what was the whole motto of your character? What was they trying to get out of your character? What was your character supposed to be based upon?
I think I kind of created most of the character, and I like weird, stupid humor, and I think they didn't get a lot of it, and it kind of just morphed into them putting me into shittier situations and not letting me stand up for myself, and it kind of turned into a useless character, which I didn't like. I missed wrestling the entire time that I was up there, and it was a pretty tough situation because I'd been wrestling at that point already for 6 years, so it was weird to not be contributing the way that I wanted to, and I didn't really feel like a part of the roster. I didn't feel like a part of the locker room. It was just hard to keep your mojo when you're not getting to do what you've been trained to do.
I say, I can see that. You love to wrestle, and you being on the main roster of Raw, you just felt, okay, I'm here. I enjoy being here, but I can't actually do what I love to do. Now, is it true? Our sources let us know. Now, some of your trainers. We're good friends with Rip Rodgers and Dr. Pritchard has been on our show before. Talk about your training leading up to the world of wrestling.
All right. Well, so when I wanted to start training, it was a lot different back then. It was OVW, where WWE was, and back then when I started, you could pay to be to be in the beginners class. Then you could move up and pay to be in the intermediate class. Then you could pay for the advanced class, and you could actually work with the contracted wrestlers, which is just unheard of at this point. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
But yeah, there were some unique people there, and I started off. Actually, Joey Matthews was my first trainer in the beginners class, and he just kind of beat the shit out of us for about 3 or 4 months. Just tons and tons of conditioning. I remember I used to go out with one of my buddies who was taking the class with me, and we used to just kill ourselves in our off time just to prep for Joey's class. He was very old school.
Man.
It was tough. And then from there I went to Rip Rodgers' class, and that was an experience. If you guys have had Rip on before, you know about Rip.
Yeah.
That guy needs to write a book, or he needs his own sitcom or something. Yeah, just unlimited stories from that guy. So it was like immediately, it was a very strange world that I threw myself into. So it was quite an experience, and just like we moved to Louisville, Kentucky. Me and my wife without jobs, so I started waiting tables, and then I'd go to Rip's class, and it was an interesting time in my life.
What did you learn from working and getting trained by Rip?
I learned not to do an up and over without setting it up first. Rip's psychology is very sound, and it's pretty simple, and it's little things that people don't do nowadays. Like, for example, so if you shoot a guy into the corner and he does the up and over where you run underneath the guy,
right.
If you don't first do a spot where you shoot the guy in and he stays there, and you come in and clock him first so that he learns from that the second time around, and that enables him to do the up and over. I remember someone just went to that spot in a match, and Rip just stopped the match right then and started calling everybody cocksuckers and
F-bombs.
and just making you feel just terrible. And then at the end he'd say, "Thank you, love," and then you'd go back to the match.
That's a good over for us. What about Dr. Tom Pritchard, a good buddy of ours too? Said that do you have some training with him, some experience with him?
With Dr. Tom? Yeah. Well, that was at FCW. And we all missed Doc when he left. He was a good guy, and he was a fun coach, and I thought it was a good system with him, because you had some leeway in your matches, and I always felt like that was a good thing when you weren't like over analyzed afterwards, especially the live event matches in FCW, when you could just go out there, and the main thing was to have fun, because when you're having fun, then you can create magic, and you can create characters like Stone Cold and The Rock. Those guys just had a lot of fun, and you can't like create that in a test tube,
Right.
And I feel like that's a part of the problem with the system now, is that everyone is, everything you do is so scrutinized, and back then, you could have more fun, and I thought that was a cool thing, and Doc he wouldn't get in your ass all the time, he would let you go out and have fun and be yourself, and then it was just a looser kind of environment where you had to get the work done, but we had a lot of fun.
Okay. Thank you for that. Also, see, leading up to being on Raw, what was it like, a fan question, what was it like working with the Authority, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kane?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Oh, no, it was a fan question. They wanted to know, when you was on Raw, what was it like working with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and Kane with the Authority?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was those were some of the most laid back stuff that we did. You know, before we'd roll, Hunter was just cracking jokes, and you know, there wasn't a whole lot of. It was a lot of improv, and it was just fun, and it was pretty surreal getting to work with those guys right off the bat.
Now, I want to ask, what is your thoughts of, you know, the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community? A lot of people hate Triple H. Says, you know, he uses the shovel, he buries people, he's only out for his own friends. What are your personal thoughts on Triple H and your thoughts of the fans out there and people that feel Triple H is the bad guy, tries to poison and hold people back?
I don't know, man. I feel like he's given. I feel like he's giving the internet community what they want, isn't he? I mean, they've signed a lot of the biggest names on the indies, and the thing I've noticed is, which I think is a positive thing, is that he does let those guys kind of do their stuff. What got them over on the indies, they're kind of, you know, they're allowed to carry over into NXT, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's been so successful. You know, obviously you're gonna find your best players and you're gonna play them. So, I mean, you can't play everybody all the time. So I don't know.
All right. Go ahead, Sultan. And so.
All right, my question for you, Brad, is your feelings on Punk leaving WWE?
I say good for him. He felt like he wasn't being used correctly, and he had the balls to leave. And, you know, I'm sure he's having a lot of fun, whatever he's doing right now, I guess mostly just training.
Yeah.
I can't say that I would leave fake fighting for real fighting. I can't say that I would do that. But, you know, I mean, that's a guy who's not afraid of anything. So I think it's cool that he left on his own terms, and you know, he wasn't happy, so he got out of there. I think it's cool.
Awesome.
Did you get along with Punk? What was your experience like working with Punk backstage and in general?
I mean, I didn't work with him a whole lot. He was always cool to me, and I guess I don't know. I don't know who had problems with him, if anyone. You know, he was one of the vets, and he wasn't afraid to speak his mind. But I always thought he was open and honest with everyone, which I think is always better than people that'll say one thing to your face and another behind your back. And that was never his deal. So I liked him.
Go ahead, Toph.
Oh, hey, Brad. I got two questions for you. Earlier, just a few moments ago, you were saying that some of the stuff you did, some of the comedy you were trying to bring to the table, you thought that, you know, the powers that be, they didn't get it. So the first question I wanted to ask you was, I remember there was some storyline you did. I think it was after the Ryback CM Punk match. You were in the ring, you cut a promo, and you were talking about the Shield, and you said Hounds of Justice with a, like, kind of an accent, and you sounded kind of like Bane off of, like, the Batman. Imitate Bane.
Well, that was my attempt at a Bane accent.
I thought so.
Something.
I
like
so.
to do things that entertain me, and I thought that would be entertaining to me because I was about to get my ass kicked. So, like, you know.
That was great.
Fuck it.
Okay. My second question to you is, when you were in FCW, you spent some time with Summer Rae, and I noticed that on the main roster, they don't really know what they're doing with Summer Rae either. She's always like a valet of somebody. So, is she really talented? Do you think that we're not seeing what she could do?
You mean wrestling-wise?
Right.
Yeah, I think she's made a lot of strides to get better in the ring. I think they use her in a lot of, like, interesting storylines, non-wrestling, and I think she does her job really well. She's all like, from the time she first got to FCW, you know, she was like, was she GM like pretty quickly into that down there? So she's always had a real good character, and she's a great actress. So I think they do a good job of using her strongest assets.
Thanks. Talk about Brad, your attire. I saw every time you would go out on Raw, you wear like a shirt and a tie, or wear like the fitted dress shirt and slacks. Was that your idea, something you wanted to do? Was that something that, the bosses had let you know that's what they wanted you to wear as far as your clothes?
Why'd I look sharp as hell?
Yeah.
Is that the question? That was my initiative. I was trying to be a little GQ. I guess my clothes were maybe a little tight. My vest got a little tight. I don't know if I was putting on weight or what.
That's the style now.
I tried to look sharp.
Well,
for the
that's
ladies,
the style now. Yeah, a lot of guys are wearing, the fitted tight shirts and the I guess you say fitted slacks. I should say, that fits their form of their body. So, you really started that trend. Because, think of it, and we talked about this before. Seeing you on Raw wearing, the fitted shirt, the dress shirt, and nobody was really doing that now. I know, supervisors at my job, and I wear a lot of suits all the time at my job. I work for a law firm. I would see a lot of guys do the same thing. Now, I don't know if some of them know of you, know who you are, and others don't, but you see a lot of guys wear, like, fitted suits and fitted dress shirts and, fitted ties and slacks now. So I guess you started something.
You're damn right. I'm a trend starter. That's what I do.
Now, we like to have fun, of course, seeing Under the Mat Radio. I know we're a wrestling show, but we talk about a lot of pop culture, MMA, boxing stuff. We see that you're a football fan. Seattle Seahawks.
I hate them. What's the question?
Why do you hate the Seattle Seahawks?
I'll be right back. No, I don't hate them. I mean, they're kind of like the what was it, a quote from Batman? You hope that you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just saying like everybody jumped on the bandwagon at first, and now they're old news, and like they just always win. I was like, they won today. I was really pulling for the Vikings, man, because I don't want to see them again. And now they're coming back to Charlotte, and we already beat them once this year. And I'm not very confident about ever beating a team twice in a season, like no matter what the circumstance. Like they lost to Atlanta the second time around, and they ruined their undefeated season. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about that. I was hoping to get an easier road. I feel like Seattle as the first opponent is not like very fair to a team that just won 15 games. But whatever, we'll take them on.
Well, so you being a Carolina fan, were you always a Panthers fan before, pre-Cam Newton, back when it was Jake Delhomme and, Kevin Green and all that stuff, or were you more of a recent? Because a lot of kids now, they don't know who Jake Delhomme is and know that the Panthers were in the Super Bowl, and, they have no idea of that. So were you a fan of the old school Panthers or more of the new school?
Jeez, no, man, I've been a fan since day one. Jake was like, I had a love-hate relationship with Jake Delhomme because he made some awesome plays, and obviously he took them farther than they've ever been or have been since. But he made some stupid plays too, man. He was like I mean, he's kind of like a poor man's Brett Favre. Like, he make a lot of stupid plays, and he makes some good plays, and yeah, I've hated the Patriots for about a decade now.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about your thoughts of crybaby Brady.
I'm not a huge fan of Tom Brady.
Well, we're based out of Baltimore, so because we're Ravens fans, and of course, we have a hate for the Patriots as well. So, and this is the thing. Can you imagine? Oh, shout out to I know that was somebody screaming on the door. So for the NFC Championship, do you want it to be you guys against Arizona?
I mean, again, I would prefer to have an easier road. That's a really tough lineup to, if we beat Seattle, we're probably going to have to play Arizona. That's two tough games going back to back. Sorry, that is a door. I'm not killing people.
Okay. Thank you for that. Now, because we talk pop culture, you being a Batman fan, looking forward to Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I guess they're gonna have Doomsday in it. I don't know about that. I don't feel like that's a first movie villain. I think he's probably gonna be wasted. It's probably not gonna be as good as I hope it to be, but I think it'll be an interesting new take on Batman. So I'm excited for it. I think I'm more excited for the what's the one with Harley Quinn?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think I'm more excited for that.
Are you a Marvel fan? Are you looking forward to the Civil War, Iron Man, Avengers? Are you a fan of those too?
Oh yeah, man. There's so much right now. My dream job would just to be a superhero in a Marvel movie. I don't even care which one.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the X-Men movie. That's probably number one. I like Oscar Isaac. Yeah, Oscar Isaac plays Apocalypse, and he's going to be awesome because he's awesome in everything he does. That's going to be a good movie.
I agree with you on that one. Fan question. Your thoughts right now of WWE's current situation with all of the injuries? Losing Cena, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Orton, Sting, Sasha Banks is injured. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I guess it's a good time for them to start cutting people for foul language and dark matches. Nah, I don't know. I mean, it happens, I guess. It happens. Bad luck right now.
Go with Saltine.
All right, this is a good question I want to ask you. All right, because you're doing the acting thing, if you had an opportunity to do one movie, what would it be? Because I'm talking about like superhero movies, or they have already made or are going to make. What superhero you want to play?
I think I probably would be good for Deadpool, maybe, because I like that sarcastic, humorous role. I could probably most easily fit into that. Like being Wolverine or something would probably be tougher for me. I'm gonna go with Deadpool, yeah, because that'd be a cool one too.
Yeah, you do have that watch, because I used to watch his shows on YouTube, and they'd be funny as I don't know what. And it was like, oh, man, he getting too excited on there. Yeah, I love his shows, man. I miss them. I really do.
Thanks. I'm gonna try and get back to it.
Thank you.
You're a big comic book fan. Are you? I know we have a comic book. I recommend this to you called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Have you heard of that, Brad?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I actually have a copy of it. We do, and it's actually pretty great. Where Deadpool goes through and just slaughters the Marvel Universe. He kills everybody.
Right.
Spider-Man, Wolverine twice, Incredible Hulk.
That's got to be a hell of a comic book.
And not to give out major spoilers, but Spider-Man gets shot in the head.
Spoiler: everyone dies.
Yeah. Everyone definitely does die. Yeah, a few more questions before we let you go. Your in-ring work, who did you feel you had the best chemistry with? Because so you wrestled Ryback, he was in the ring with Randy Orton. Who did you feel you had the best chemistry with?
I mean, I wouldn't say I exactly had, like, decent matches on the main roster. I was kind of just getting my ass kicked the whole time, so I don't know about chemistry with any of the main roster guys. I'm trying to think. So I had some pretty fun matches with Seth in FCW. We had a couple of improv matches where every now and then these live events they would not allow us to plan anything. So I remember one in particular I had with Seth where we just went out and just called it all out there, and we did a lot of shenanigans. And I was doing this gimmick where I had a water bottle or a spray bottle, and I would spray it over my head, like a really cheap version of fireworks, like super cheap and corny. And we did a few spots with that. He's good on his feet. So we had some fun times.
Of course, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Your last appearance that we know of, right before you got released by WWE, you were with the Undertaker, and he put you as the turkey. Can you talk to us about how that came about and how it was working with Undertaker and your thoughts of that whole angle?
I don't know why they picked me for it. I think they picked me for it because it was the overseas tour at the time, and probably everyone else was overseas. And I'm guessing like Jimmy Fallon's people asked if they could use the Undertaker, so they just needed a body from the kill. It was fun though. It was a fun experience. I just kind of took it for what it was, and I enjoyed meeting Jimmy Fallon, who informed me that I had made it in show business. When I met him for the first time, already dressed in my turkey costume, preparing for the run through.
Yes. So how was it meeting with Jimmy Fallon, and how was it working with? What did he tell you before the whole segment? Like, what instructions did he give you?
They basically, it was a simple spot. They told us what they wanted, and then we ran through it one time with the lights and everything, and then, we didn't have to do the tombstone ahead of time. So, there wasn't a whole lot to it. They told me my cue on when I was going out and where to stand. It was pretty quick.
Your thoughts of Undertaker, working with him, and any stories of him, of Undertaker, of course, having Undertaker having their reputation of being the Godfather backstage, being, very highly respected, and being the voice of the WWE. You have any stories of working with him, or just any?
He's exactly as advertised. He's always laid back. He's always cool, and he told a quick story to me and Jimmy, as I just after we did the rehearsal, and I was still standing there in my turkey outfit, and he was telling us the story about how there was some really crappy character that Vince wanted somebody for, and he was afraid that he was going to get pegged for that character, and he was really nervous about that, but then he didn't get picked for it, and he ended up being the Undertaker. So I think the lesson was, don't be the turkey. I think that's what I got out of it. That would probably be the difference between me and the Undertaker's careers.
Were you ever nervous working in WWE with anybody, or did you ever have any nervousness being in front of, or being around anybody at all?
No, not really. I guess Vince initially, because there's a stigma that Vince is a scary guy, and that's about all it is. Because he's really easy to work with, and he's easy to talk to, and I don't know if it was different like a decade ago or not. I don't know how back then, but my experience with him was pretty cool after I loosened up.
Tell us your first initial meeting with Vince.
I guess the first time was after Hell in a Cell, after we did the spot with Punk and Ryback and the Nut Shot. The next week, or I guess it was 2 weeks, because he killed me after that, after the match on the pay-per-view. So I took a week off, and then the next week we're in Manchester, somewhere in England, and that's when they threw my first promo at me, which was 5 minutes long or something. And so they handed me my script, and then I had a little bit of time to try and get it down before I had to go in and cut it in front of Vince, and that was pretty nerve-wracking because I didn't have it down at all, and I'm sitting there in front of Vince for the first time trying to spout this shit out, and it was just, I knew it was coming out horribly. That was my first experience.
How did that go? What did Vince tell you? While you were saying your script, and what did he tell you afterwards?
He gave me a few pointers on how I was saying things, and afterwards he was happy with it. I think he was pleasantly surprised because I don't think he knew really anything about me ahead of time. So I got really good feedback after that first one, which I wasn't happy with, because that was my very first promo on the main roster, and I didn't realize, like, when you go out there, you can't hear yourself because of just how the sound system works. You can't, like, there's no auditory feedback. So I felt like I sounded really weird when I watched it back afterwards. It was a different experience, but yeah, I had good feedback.
That's good. Go ahead, Toph. Toph, you're back on with us. Go ahead.
Hey, Brad. Did anyone ask you any questions about Joey Mercury yet?
No.
No.
Okay, talk about Joey. I read he was one of your trainers. Is he pretty cool?
Yeah, Joey was the guy that broke me in the business, and he was mean as hell. But he's like, for my money, he's one. He just really gets the psychology, and he knows how to apply it to modern wrestling. And he does a really good job of explaining it to you, like explaining the whys of what you're doing so that you comprehend why you should be doing something here or there, or not doing something here or there. And I've always been around him one way or another for my entire career. And yeah, my impression of him is that there's not really anyone better. And I don't know if he's enjoying his time now, or I haven't talked to him in a few months, but hopefully he sticks around, and hopefully they continue using him like they have been behind the scenes.
Okay, my next question is I'm not sure. I'm sure you're very busy. You talked earlier about how you were trying to get into the acting scene, and that's cool. But earlier last week there was Wrestle Kingdom 10. I was watching it, and it was kind of refreshing to see so many people that have careers that it didn't work out too well for them in WWE, but they're still doing okay. I saw Matt Stryker. He was on commentary. Yoshitatsu was on commentary. I'm not sure if you know him. C.J. Parker. He's one of the dojo trainees. He's going to have a contract there soon. Saw Evan Bourne in the tag team match. Have you ever considered New Japan or working elsewhere to, kind of reinvigorate your interest in wrestling in the future, or are you just kind of like interested in focusing your acting right now?
Yeah, I'm not close to anything right now. I am focusing more on acting. I kind of got a little burnt out from just years of trying to get an idea going or trying to break through on the main roster and having things shot down one after the other, and it's been a frustrating my last 3 years with the company. So I'm a little bit burnt out, to be honest, right now, and I'm at the moment I'm more focused on acting, but I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to us about the burnout. I know we've interviewed people that work for WWE in the past, or just in general, even guys who just literally left TNA or RH, and they said the same thing. This, for those that may not know, that may want to get into the wrestling business, what would your advice be about how to conduct yourself on the road? The pros and the cons, and what to deal with and how to deal with it, of being on the road.
My situation is not unique. It's a grind for everybody, and there's only so many spots on top of the mountain. So you have to fight, and you have to have a short memory. If something doesn't work out, you got to forget about it, and you got to move on. You can't dwell on stuff. And you just got to keep trying, because everyone does that. Everyone has has to deal with the crap and keep going. So you just have to, I don't know, you have to have a love for it, and you have to expect that it's going to be tough because there's only so many spots. And there's only so much airtime. You know, not everyone's John Cena, so you gotta work for it. But you know, my advice to anyone, like, when you get up there would be, you know, don't be afraid to speak your mind, and don't be afraid to go to Vince. I think that would probably define my career, you know, from a backstage perspective. I didn't go up the ladder of the chain of command when I first started off. You know, I tried to talk to the writers or the assistant writers even, and try to promote ideas through them, which I don't think is the way to go. I think you go as high as you can, and you knock on Vince's door, and you talk to Hunter. So you just got to go for it.
Vince and Triple H are very approachable because, you know, we've been told on the show, being at shows backstage, because people say, "Oh, Triple H, you can't talk to him." You know, Vince doesn't talk; he's not approachable. And then we hear other stories such as yourself and others that say, "Yeah, if I need to talk to Vince, I talk to him. He's very open." So does it all depend on your experience with Triple H and Vince, depending on what you would get from him, or why do you think some people feel like that?
I think anyone who thinks that Vince is unapproachable hasn't tried, because it's like one of those things where his door is scarier than he is. You just got to go knock on it. And obviously, he's busy because he's the owner of the company, so he doesn't always have the time for you. But if you go up to him and ask for time, he's gonna give you time. Like, he likes people to do that. He likes for people to knock on his door, and he likes to talk to guys about ideas. So I never had a problem. You know, some weeks I couldn't get to him. You know.
So what you're saying is that Vince McMahon, and your experience from the time you were there, that he has no issue with employees that are more assertive?
Nope. Yeah, not at all.
Okay.
Hey, guys, I got to run.
I know, it's fine, brother. Go ahead, and we thank you for your time. We did.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. We'll have you on again soon. Thank you.
Cool, guys. All right, I'll see you later.
Thank you. Do apologize, man. Everybody that was former WWE superstar Brad Maddox joining us. Everybody, as you know, this is live radio, so, you know, sometimes our guests are taking time with their busy schedules to come on to the show. We do apologize for the abrupt ending, but like I talked to him off air earlier, he's in L.A. trying to work on some projects, so, you know, we're very grateful that Brad, you know, spent a good almost an hour with us. So definitely glad to have him on, and Brad definitely will be back onto the show coming soon. Now, talk Saltine, your thoughts of interview with Brad Maddox.
Fun. That was a great interview. He answered all our questions, and he was honest. He was blunt, and I appreciate his time. I hope we can have him more again. He was good to talk to.
So?
I thought the interview was very enlightening. Learned a lot of information from it. What I took the most from the interview was, again, he confirmed that Vince McMahon, at least, is very easy to approach. So that's, you know, a myth that's kind of been thrown out the window for a while. And what I also took from the interview was how he mentioned the burnout. I've been hearing a lot of people that leave WWE, and, you know, I had the same thing. Justin Gabriel, a.k.a. PJ Black, he was on Jericho's podcast.
Yeah.
He had the exact same thing, burnout. CM Punk, when he quit, burnout. I've been hearing the word burnout a lot more, specifically for WWE than any other promotion, about people just either quitting, allowing their contracts to expire, or being fired, and they all just say, I was burnt out anyway. So it was a good interview. I'd like to talk to him more again in the future.
So, team?
Yeah. I wish we could have went longer. I always want to ask him a question like, you know, his moveset. I thought his moveset was amazing, and why they didn't let him utilize his moveset when he was in matches and everything. Because I seen some of his dark matches on YouTube and everything. You know, you can find anything on YouTube. And, like, you know, in FCW, I was really amazed how he was wrestling. I thought he was tight. I was like, damn, this dude tight. So
yeah, I
FCW,
watched,
yeah.
Yeah, Brad.
So FCW.
I'll go talk to him, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was okay. I thought FCW was really a great show to watch. So, yeah, Brad was the shit on there. He was. I was like, yeah.
Here's an idea, man. Someone needs to do this. This has been, I don't have the technology. I don't have the money to do this. This has been on my list of things I would like to see for years. If someone out there is listening to this, you know, because there's all types of people listening to podcasts, what I would love to see something called Dark Match Mania. Everyone knows about Botch Mania. Everyone knows about WrestleMania. Everyone knows about Triple Mania. I want to see someone out there make like a, you know, like those YouTube videos or whatever, where it's like a combination of a mixture of videos, like all in like 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah. I want somebody out there to like attend these house shows and record every single dark match they see and like just upload it on a website somewhere. You know what I mean? Just all the dark matches, because dark matches are cool, dude. Because it's like, first of all, when they do the dark matches, what's cool about them is they're not live, so it's like they don't have the audio stuff set up yet, so you can hear like the natural sounds of the ring. I remember like someone uploaded, I think it was Neville against Sami Zayn when they were in the UK last year, and it was a dark match on Raw. And they didn't set up their microphone stuff yet, so you could just hear the natural sounds of the ring. There is no commentary. You could actually hear the fans react to them, so you could see, like, if they actually knew who they were. I remember, like, one of the first dark matches I ever saw was on YouTube. It was, like, Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin against, like, some local indie tag team. This would have been, like, 2002 or something. But someone should do that, man. Someone should, like, just make a site completely dedicated to dark matches, because they're cool, you know, and you get to see these jobber guys that, you know, you lose usually like in 2 minutes. You can see them perform and see how good they are and what movesets they do. But I would imagine to do something like that, it would take a lot of time, effort, obviously a good camera, and obviously money, because you would have to attend the shows. But I would love for someone to do something like that and call it Dark Match Mania. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it will be.
And research, too, for the video.
I do agree.
Yep.
I know, I'm not going to say this publicly. I know NXT Gameboy knows, and I think